All right, everyone, just one more minute. We still have a few people being let in from the waiting room. We'll get started in about 30 seconds. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone, to the Louisiana Department of Education's information session on outcomes-based contracting for Accelerate High-Dosage Tutoring. We're excited to have you here today as we share details about this new initiative. We're offering school systems the opportunity to apply for additional funding to extend high-dosage tutoring provided through an external tutoring provider for an additional 10-week cycle using outcomes-based contracting. By the end of this session, you should have a clear understanding of what outcomes-based contracting, OBC, means and how it can create stronger results for both students and school systems. Our agenda for today. Here's our agenda. We'll begin by introducing our tutoring team. Then we will provide an overview of outcomes-based contracting, look at 2 case studies where OBC has been implemented successfully, and look at the steps involved in engaging in OBC. To start by introducing myself, I'm Glenn Colvin, the Chief of Staff for the Literacy Division. We have our tutoring team with us here today, and I'll give them an opportunity to introduce themselves at this time.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I see lots of familiar names on our call today. Happy to see some familiar names. For those who don't know me, I'm Holly Manson, and I work on and oversee all of our tutoring programs here at the State Department. And as always, happy to help after this call with next steps and any questions you might have.
Good morning. My name's April Smith. I work alongside Holly as a tutoring support specialist, answering a lot of your questions in the tutoring inbox, here to help as well.
And good morning, everyone. My name is Adam DiBenedetto. I'm Director of Academic Innovation, and I'm excited to work alongside my colleagues here who have just introduced themselves to support the tutoring effort. So glad to be with you here today.
All right, thank you, Holly, April, and Adam. So we can go and get started with our OBC overview. All right, outcomes-based contracting, or OBC, is a procurement strategy that shifts the focus from inputs, like the number of hours delivered, to actual outputs, such as student growth. Under this model, a portion of the vendor's compensation is directly tied to achieving predetermined outcomes. All right, the contract is typically split into 2 parts. A base payment, which ensures stability, and an outcomes-based payment, which rewards student achievement. As you can see here on the chart, in this example, the base payment is typically around 60% of the total contract value. The outcomes-based payment may be around 40% of the contract value. All right, both school systems and vendors agree to clear provisions. Schools must ensure tutoring sessions are scheduled and students are present, while vendors commit to delivering high quality instruction and supporting students in meeting growth targets. Let's talk about the benefits of OBC. Ultimately, outcomes-based contracting is about improving student learning. First, it ensures tutoring is measured by results, not just hours. Second, it incentivizes vendors to bring their very best tutors and instructional materials, raising the quality of support students receive. Third, the model uses data to help providers adjust quickly and continuously improve. It also directs resources to the students who need them most, which helps close achievement gaps. And finally, it ensures that the public investment in tutoring translates into stronger literacy and math outcomes. To see how OBC works in practice, let's look at two case studies, one from Denver Public Schools and one from Ector County ISD in Texas. In Denver Public Schools, more than 1,000 qualifying students were served in math tutoring through an OBC. In this case, more than half the contract value was contingent on student outcomes. You can see here the pricing structure and metrics that were used in this case. Here you can see additional details from the Denver case study. As you can see, the tutoring parameters are not dissimilar to Louisiana's HDT requirements. The results in Denver Public Schools showed significant growth and improved student confidence in math. In a second case study, this one from Ector County, Texas, over 5,000 third through eighth grade students were served in ELA and math. In this case, 20% of the vendor compensation was tied to growth on the NWEA assessment. Results in the Ector County ISD showed that about half the participating students achieved strong growth, leading the district to expand OBC into other areas. These examples show that OBC can be implemented in different ways, but the core idea is the same. Time payment to outcomes improves results. Now we'll move into what the steps involved are in OBC implementation and examine a sample rate card. Engaging in OBC requires 4 major steps. First, creating a framework by identifying student metrics and school system goals. Activities would include confirming vendor participation, creating an OBC design framework, and identifying the students included and the desired outcome. The second step is constructing a pricing strategy that balances incentives and realistic expectations. This includes developing a rate card, and we'll look at an example of a rate card momentarily. Third, renegotiating contracts with vendors and school systems, ensuring outcomes and data requirements are clear. And finally, the fourth step would be collaborating throughout implementation to monitor progress and make continuous improvements. This process ensures that all parties are aligned and that the model is both effective and sustainable. One of the tools we'll use in this process is rate cards. Rate cards are negotiated between school system and the vendor and are used to clearly outline the responsibilities related to the OBC. As we look more closely at this example rate card, it's important to note that outcomes listed here are based on case studies and other systems, and systems may opt to focus on different outcomes. Okay, we're going to look a little closer at each section of this rate card. You can see that it provides a clear breakdown of how the compensation is structured. In this example, price per student, percentage, and the outcome payment cap. It also includes the student population that is being served, so everything is clearly defined. Moving down, looking a little further on the rate card, we can see a list of the outcomes that it's important to note that the card separates out achievement metrics and specifies what portion of payments are tied to base versus outcome performance. This transparency helps vendors and school systems plan effectively and understand how payments connect to student results. The notes on the right side are included to define the contingencies. All right, moving down the rate card, you can see how it clearly designates the outcome and base payments. This transparency helps vendors and school systems plan effectively and understand exactly how payments connect to student results. Again, I'd like to reiterate that the specific outcomes, metrics, payment amounts, and percentages listed here are simply examples. These are negotiated between the school system and the vendor and should be based on the system's specific needs and circumstances. All right, we know that was a very brief overview of OBC. And please know that if you decide to move forward with this process and are awarded funding to extend tutoring with your external tutoring provider, our team will be here to assist you throughout the process. We'll close the webinar by explaining the next steps for school systems who have an interest in OBC for high dosage tutoring. All right, and once again, to reiterate, OBC is only applicable to external tutoring providers already contracting with the school system. The OBC would provide for an additional 10-week cycle of tutoring. If your school system is interested in participating in outcomes-based contracting for Accelerate High Dosage Tutoring, we would ask that you would complete the interest form linked here and accessible through the QR code by October the 10th. Please note this form is only intended to capture interest and does not serve as an official sign-up or commitment to participate. After that, the LDOE will coordinate with approved external tutoring providers to gauge their interest in OBC participation. If you fill out that form, there is a question on there where you can add your questions in addition to your information, after which we would reach out to you. You may also reach out to tutoring@la.gov with any questions. To sum it up, this is a unique opportunity to shape the future of tutoring in Louisiana, and we look forward to partnering with vendors who want to be a part of this work. And are there any, this deck we will publish this and on the LDO website and put a link to it in the LDOE newsletter so you can have access to that. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I hope you have a great rest of your day.